Welcome, everybody. I'm so thankful all of you are here. I see people here from the United States and Europe, and we are going to have a great Zoom today. We have a very special guest, somebody I've known for a long time, but we'll get into that in just a bit. As founder of the Human Communications Institute, a leader in the personal and professional development industry, Michael has impacted hundreds of thousands of people across the world, including myself, with his programs, books, audios, videos, and seminars. Michael has an unmatched natural-born talent to understand the psychology of individuals, which he will pass on to you. This inborn, innate, and highly tuned awareness allows him to quickly perceive what makes people make the decisions they make and what makes them do what they really do. Rather than breaking down walls, Michael is skilled at getting people to rapidly lower resistance in themselves and others, allowing room for progress. Michael is the developer of the Human Interaction Technology, HIT, a powerful technology that allows people to understand unknown psychological triggers and powerful communication strategies so they can increase their charisma and influence, leaving their average life behind. He is the author of Average Sucks: Why You Don't Get What You Want and What to Do About It. Michael Bernoff shows you how to raise your average and create the life you want, resulting in greater financial wealth, physical health, and lasting confidence in all aspects of life. So with that, welcome to the call. Thank you for joining us, Michael Bernoff.
I'm excited to be here, Dr. JJ. Super excited to be here. And as you read that intro, I'm like thinking to myself, man, I've done some cool things in my life, and as have you. So super excited to be here, excited to answer some questions and connect and figure out how we can make some people's lives better.
That's awesome. Yeah, you've done some great things. You and I have known each other for a very, very long time.
Yeah, it's been 20 something years or so. And what's interesting is what's interesting about it is like, if you think about it, the same skills we were doing back then, I'm using on a regular basis. I'm still talking to people the same way, the same stuff we learn in direct sales and networking. We've got an opportunity to use everywhere. So what's the best format? What's the best way that we connect here? Is this series of questions and answers to share? I'd love to, whatever we're thinking, I'd love to roll with it and figure out what we can do to help some people.
Well, let's just allow everybody to be a fly on the wall, basically, or flies on the wall, and communicate like you and I always communicate. I think it would be interesting if we talk about how we first met.
Yep. I'd love it. You want to start the story and then we just go and then we figure out how to flow into questions, and we can open up the chat box and they can go. And this could be what all great entrepreneurs do, ADD, and it'll be wonderful. You know what I'm saying? So let's hit it. Why don't you start your end of the story, then I'll go to my end of the story and we'll make it happen.
We'll do a he said type of a thing. Yeah.
We'll just jump back and forth. It'll be great.
So many, many years ago, before I had any gray hair, I was a young man, and
I'm getting some too. Isn't there a way to like, don't you guys have a product for this or something?
Not yet. Not yet.
Or is that spray paint?
That's spray paint as it is right now. So many, many years ago, as a young chiropractor, I had some patients that were really excited about an industry called network marketing, which I really hadn't heard much about. But I listened. I had an open mind. They say that minds are like parachutes. They work better when they're open. And I listened, and it was intriguing to me, this concept of residual income, where you could do some work one time and get paid over and over again. So I joined that company. And this is a long time ago, but within 24 hours, and that's very, very important, of me joining that company, I got a call from this guy, Michael, that I'd never heard of before, and said, "Hey, Dr. JJ, this is Michael, your upline." Now, I was so green, I didn't even know what an upline was. I'd love to meet you in person. I'd like you to come over to my home and bring your list. I didn't even know what a list was, but basically he wanted me to bring a list of my top people who I knew in my entire life that we could share this opportunity with. And, I show up at Michael's house, and I'll let you take over from there. That's really the beginning.
Yeah. So what was really interesting was we lived in a very interesting world back then. And folks, I'll tell you, we'll get deeper into this. And this is, I've never done this in my life the way JJ and I are about to do this right now. So this is hopefully this is being recorded, and I definitely want to copy this later, because this is going to be one for the ages we're about to do. So this is like how it really happens, not what everyone's doing. So I want everyone understand, we're talking about the year 1999. Okay. And what's interesting back then was the internet was new. There was not 9,000 trainers. There was really one way to build a business. There were human beings. And what was nice about it, there's still only human beings now, but there's 9 million other ways to do it. So when I said come over, it was no different than bring your list or bring who you want to talk to, or let me know the ideas you have. And basically, I said, why don't you do what you're good at? Why don't you call them, say hello like you normally do, because they know you and they don't know me. And you'll just say, hi, I'm JJ. And when you get to the point with like, are you open to opportunities? Just hand me the phone, hear what I have to say. And then I'll do that for a few hours. Then eventually you'll listen to me for a few hours and then you'll be able to do it yourself. And we built a very sizable business. I remember you were getting great checks. Things were going awesome very, very quickly. And what was so exciting about this was not only we were keeping it simple, we were doing what works. And there was a very interesting fundamental principle. So I'll steal something from, I believe it's in the Talmud. It says, when you save a life, you're responsible for it. So I truly believe when you bring someone into network marketing or entrepreneurship, you're not responsible for your success. You're responsible for being your best. So they have a role model to run by. So I didn't allow myself to be scared or worried. So I'm like, I didn't know I'd be good at it or not. I didn't know. I just said, you know what? I promised JJ, I promised Lisa Daniels, and I forgive me, Lisa Daniels, and I promised Stephen Daniels, how we met, that I would take care of their people. So when you came in, I promised them. And I believe at that point in the world, promises meant something and they still mean a lot to me now. So I figured that would be the thing. So I got on the phone, I connected, and we literally used human psychology. You knew how to build the relationship. I edified you, you edified me. We went back and forth. And you know what? Not everybody was interested. Not even everybody picked up the phone. Some did, some didn't really matter. And still, I've worked with hundreds of thousands of direct salespeople since then in coaching and training and working. And guess what? The ones that are still doing the biggest things in the world are still using the same system. Talk with people in some fashion or possible, and then get them to someone else, because no matter how good you can explain it, you have an established relationship with people. And that's really where it all began. So it had a lot more to do with, and what fascinated me about this, Dr. JJ, it had a lot to do with not just how do we get these people into the business? How do I get you comfortable with it? So real residual income comes from not just to make a sale once, from another human being confident and competent in the process. So that's really something I got obsessed with, is how do I get other people to be able to do what I do? And part of that is keeping it simple. So I remember that. And then we would teach other people, and that was the system. And that was how we built our relationship. And here we are 23 years later, still friends, still connecting, still doing the things we're doing. And what's interesting about it is the world hasn't changed that much. There's things that are different, and people still do the same things these days. So are you still teaching a version of that formula today?
I am. And you know, it's interesting, and this is why I'm so thankful that you're on this Zoom with us, because if I took everything you just shared and break it down to the least common denominator, and this is where you come in, it's all about communication. And
Yep.
the only thing that has changed, and you said the world really hasn't changed, is it's made our job easier with all the free tools and technology that we have. But I'm fearful that people are losing the communication aspect of it and using the technology as a crutch and thinking that's the end all be all, and forgetting that the magic still has to happen, where you have to communicate in some way, shape, or form, like you said, whether it's online or offline. You still have to have that communication, because when you and I were doing this, yes, we were talking to local people, we were communicating, and that was easy. What made it harder is if somebody wanted to see our opportunity, we had to take a VHS tape, yes, a VHS tape,
Put it in the
and
mail,
mail it long,
wait 3 days.
3 days. And if we wanted to speak to somebody outside of our area, we still had long distance to deal with. Long distance isn't even a thing anymore. That's
It's a
right.
real phone.
It's a real
Like a
phone.
real phone. This is not even an iPhone. This is
Oh,
like
you got the
this is
real
a
phone there.
Panasonic.
Right.
And we
So,
had to use this
now
thing.
what like what you and I are doing right now on this Zoom, Imagine us being able to speak with people. Well, we have people on this call right now from Sweden, for example. Imagine if we
Yep.
wanted to share that opportunity with somebody in Sweden back in the day. They would have had to wait weeks to get a VHS tape, and we would have had to call them long distance. So this is wonderful. But again, with all this great free technology that we have out there, and I'd love to know your input on this, I'm fearful that people are forgetting the most important part of the recipe, and that's still communicating.
Yeah, it really all comes down to communication. I believe I own a company called the Human Communications Institute. I've been coaching people since fax machines and people had a whistle in their mouth. I've been doing this for a really long time. 2003, we got started doing, we're doing 20 years ago. And what's interesting about it is we believe that communication is the most underdeveloped and underutilized asset that we have as human beings to get everything we want in this world. And anything that you're going after requires communication, which is going on 24/7, 7 days a week. So my biggest thing that I want to preface to everybody is that the stuff that I teach today, I look back 20 years ago and it was a luxury item to learn personal development, as a luxury item to learn uh, neuropsychology that I teach. It was a luxury item to learn how to influence people. Now, in the world we live in, it's a necessity because we are getting communicated to in every direction by others. And the skills that I teach, very few people knew back then. Now the big corporations and the big media companies, they are spending a lot of money for your thinking patterns, for your brain. And they look at your mind like a chemistry set. And either you're going to be directed by large corporations, large media, large AI, or you're going to learn how to take the power back and figure this out yourself and teach your team how to do this as well. So the reason I get excited about this is a lot of this is very simple and basic. And a lot of stuff, if I would understand what I was doing back in the day that I understand now, makes a difference. And like when I remember back in the day, I'd be like, oh, I want to make a six-figure year. Now it's like, I like to do that in an afternoon. Does that make sense? And I'm only saying that is not to like impress anybody here, is just to let you know that the ideas you have of just like push and go and do, you're going to need that. But there's some shortcuts that and I got to ask you, what do you think the biggest challenge people are dealing with? And I have literally an answer for most challenges that people have, whatever it is. And I deal with UFC fighters before they go in a ring. I deal with some of the biggest influencers in the world that are not boxers, they're clients of mine. I work with direct salespeople that really want to impact people, leaders that want to make things happen. So I would love to like have everyone walk away with some tools and ideas of things they've never heard in their life to get them excited. And also really sell everyone on the idea that when you truly learn communication, this business is simple and easy and everyone can do it. The challenge is most people do not understand what real communication is, what it isn't, and how to use it to impact people. So when I talk about what's going on with major corporations, if you understand what they knew that I know that I can share with you in about 6 minutes, I can guarantee every one of you could change the way that you communicate with people and realize that you're making your life harder than it needs to be with very basic psychology. And the majority of us are doing this very, very wrong. And you're playing the short game and not the long game. So you tell me, I can just talk, or we can like, you can say, here's what I know people are dealing with. I've been with the company on the corporate level for years. I've been in the field. You tell me what you think Essanté is dealing with. And I'd love to say, this is a tool that I know will make a difference.
Great. So we've got a lot of successful people in the company, but then there's other great
Awesome.
people that haven't really made it to the level that I feel they deserve, and of course they desire. And kind of circling back to what I spoke about before, because we have all these social media apps and things at
Yep.
our fingertips now, I find that people are spending so much time sharing other people's content, which obviously there can be some power to that, instead of creating their own content, which I think is definitely better. But then, even more importantly, it's the job isn't just to create the content or share the content and put it out there. That's part of it. But the missing link is they still have to communicate with people. And, you showed your real phone, we still have landlines, but we've got this as well. I feel that so many good people would be so much more successful if they had that communication, that one-on-one. They've put the content out, they've got somebody on the phone now, And one of the many things I've learned through you over the years is how they can quickly discover what's not perfect in that person's life yet. And then they can go from there. Then
Yep.
it's easy. Yeah.
Well, let me share this. This will be something you never heard me share before, and you're going to really love this. As a doctor, you're really going to appreciate this. I spoke to a group of chiropractors recently, and I shared this, and they're like, unbelievable what I shared. And this is going to be super, super important for all of you. So at the end of the day, I want to tell you that what really drives human behavior and what gets people to do what they do. So people say, like, Michael, what is your background? My background is communication influence. I typically talk to entrepreneurs who are communicating with groups of people that it matters that they can impact their lives and they actually care about the people on the other side. So I don't work with big corporations that don't care if you buy the software or not. I typically work with people that are looking to influence and lead groups of people, whether they're martial arts gym owners or they're network marketers or they're teachers or they're people that really care about what's going on. So I want to share with you where I believe some of the challenge comes in and where the misnomer. So what I've learned over the years is I will watch people do things and think what I'm doing is what they're doing, and it's not. So like I can drive, my wife's got a Tesla, I got a gas guzzler, she's got the Tesla, and I can drive that thing 120 miles an hour, okay, down the 101 towards JJ's house. I can. But I promise you, what they're doing at the Bondurant school at 120 miles an hour is not what I'm doing in my Tesla. So what you think the greatest leaders in this world are doing, and I'm telling you, I have it in my phone, 50 to 100 of the greatest network marketers in the world that make the biggest bucks in the world. I know what they do because I go to dinner with them. They are my friends and I know them. And I'm telling you what they don't even know what they're doing sometimes and they don't realize it. So when you look on the outside, you watch a meeting. I mean, this is how obsessed I am. I got Amway tapes from the 70s in my drawer to listen to the Dexter Yeagers of the world to hear how they talk. And I realized when I dissect it, they're doing the same thing we want to do on social media today. They're building an identity out there, not just pitching and promoting products. So at the end of the day, we've got to pay attention to that. We've got to build an identity for people. So I'm from New Jersey originally. And if I were to tell you what I do, I teach like Tony Soprano style personal development. I would consider myself a drug dealer. Now, I want to stop real quick and explain what I mean by that. Every one of us have drugs inside of our head. I don't even drink anymore. I haven't drank in almost 8 years. And one of the things that I realized was I didn't quit because I had a problem. I quit because I didn't want anyone to get started because I was doing it. I accepted I was an influence and I didn't want somebody with a problem like to start drinking because I drank. I didn't want to do that. So that's one of the reasons I quit. Now I am from New Jersey, whoever Joan is saying, I'm from Rockaway, New Jersey. Now, one of the things that I recognized is that there's 4 main ways that we get people excited. And this is the interesting part that I believe most people miss is that when we communicate, we are literally sending off a chemical composition inside of another human being's mind by the words and the language that we use. So I think that the best way to describe this is like, if you understand the major media companies in the world, like a lot of us get mad. I have your child now is not a child, you've been married, grown adult, but I have a 22-year-old about to graduate from college, an 11-year-old. And I know that all those companies out there, like the Facebook and the Instagram and TikTok, which we get mad at for acting the way we act, instead of getting mad at these companies, we need to pay attention to what they're doing. They are getting our kids' attention. Why? Because when we pick up our kids from school, they're like, how was your day? And your kid's like, it's okay. And you don't get a response because you asked a stupid question and you get a stupid response. So if we keep on saying the same things, we're going to keep on getting the same results. What these companies have figured out is, okay, human beings have 7 seconds and then we need to change the attention. So I grew up with ADD, right? And what I realized is we learn through ADD. We don't learn through, there's 7 ways to get rich in network marketing. Folks, half of the biggest coaches in the world are my clients. I teach these people how to say what they say. These are the people that I work with. And I'm behind the scenes. I'm not want to be known for being known. So I'm telling you this because what these people do is they realize, how do I say it in a way that gets people to do these certain things? So what TikTok has figured out is if I get people moving, I get them having fun, they come back for more. So I'm going to show you something so unique here right now that's going to blow your mind. So pay attention. Number 1, I realize that most people like to get people excited about an opportunity. If you ever wanted people to quit, get them excited. I'm going to explain why. Excitement produces what's called dopamine, which is a 45-minute high. Starbucks knows that you're worth $11,426 to them. They will get you excited, but they have an addictive nature to their product, which makes you come back again tomorrow. Excitement, back in the old days, JJ and I would fire people up, show them the opportunity. They get in their car. They couldn't get on the internet. They had to get home. They stayed excited maybe a couple weeks, right? Now somebody gets in their phone and instantly they get a tweet, they get stuff. So excitement lasts 45 minutes. And it is the lowest level thing you can do. So it's like, you got to see the comp plan and residual income and you can get rich. I have a better plan for all of you, because excitement is not how we get people to pay. Netflix has figured this out. The shows are exciting, but that's not what gets you to pay $12 a month. And they have a $1 billion plan to do what I'm about to share with you for free here on this call. The second thing, if you become a really good marketer, is you understand stage 2. You advance, you become a marketer, and you're like, got it. Excitement alone isn't working. How do I scare them? How do I make them nervous? How do I increase the cortisol inside of their body? Well, cortisol is the feeling of fear. So this is the question JJ and I used to ask in the old days. Hey, this is a great product, da, 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 da. And then we'd go, so if you don't change, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? And we would scare people. And fear lasts about 2 weeks. This is why when you're in pain over your children not feeling good, you're going through a divorce, JJ and I, you and I both, because we're loving hearts, we've had to let people go in our businesses. And it's like, we'll talk about it with Angie and Deborah, and we drive them nuts because you and I are both married to type A's, right?
Mhm.
And we'll drive them nuts. What do we do? How do we make this happen? Because we care and we worry that we're making a mistake. So fear lasts about 2 weeks. So if you were to lead with anything, you'd be better off scaring people that they're going to die from toxicity. They're going to die from not being alkalized. It is way better than getting them excited. At least it'll sit in their life for 2 weeks. Here is where the change takes place. So some of you are like, well, Michael, I could change this. I got gold for you right now. And I have proof of 3 years of my daughter practicing this on her. So my youngest daughter, Maya, she's a figure skater. And I said to Maya once, I said, Maya, her first competition, I said, Maya, I want you to go out there and take first place. She goes, okay, daddy. She's never taken first place. She's never won before. Just like most people you're recruiting have never even had a business before. So I just asked her to do the impossible. Why did I never go to a chiropractor? Because my parents didn't go. I never been, and it scared me. So then I looked at my daughter and she went, huh? So I said, Maya, why don't you go show off what you've been practicing? And as soon as I told her to show off what she's been practicing, she knew how to show off. She didn't know how to win. So then when she took first place, then I could reinforce it. So watch this. JJ, I'm going to throw you under the bus and ask you a question. Have you ever told anybody you're proud of them?
All the time.
I will tell you, it's not the best thing to say.
Really?
Now let's pause, wait, and I want you to listen. Ready? Pride. I want you to think about this for a second. So if I say, JJ, I'm proud of you, it's like Pavlov. And I know, coming from your father was a hypnotist, right? So you understand Pavlov and you understand ring the bell and Pavlov. And I just say Pavlov and we start salivating because the dog. And so if I tell you I'm proud of you, I'm controlling your serotonin and you need me to make you proud. Now watch the difference. JJ, you should be proud of yourself for what you've created. And that feels different. And the reason why is you realize you should be proud of you. So when I walk into a business opportunity meeting these days, here's how I've changed everything. I will sit one-on-one. I will pick up the phone. I will be on an instant message and I will say these words, JJ. Are you ready for these?
Yes.
I just want to commend you in advance, JJ, for even taking the time to set up this meeting. Most people talking about changing your finances, and here we are. You should be proud of yourself. I have just closed the deal, folks. I have given them what they've wanted their whole life. I have eliminated abandonment from them. I have helped them what they've wanted more than anything to feel good about themselves. So I want to tell you, when somebody sits down and you say, listen, before we get into the opportunity, before we go over the products, I just want to commend you in advance for being a person that would even look at something like this. You have just dosed them with what's called serotonin. And I want to tell you what serotonin does. It doesn't get you excited. It doesn't scare you. It makes you realize that you're capable of making good decisions game over. Now, if you think about this, when we train companies like Netflix to do this, because my company goes into very weird fields. I won't go into the wrong side of politics. I don't go into major corporations, but I do go into a lot of companies and I teach them how to get people to click that button. So what Netflix figured out is they want you to feel so proud that you continued, and they will reward you with the noise to the next show. And it's like a slot machine. They're using Vegas psychology. They hire addiction experts to dose your serotonin to you. Folks, please listen. It's not a conspiracy. It is what it is. And we have the ability to give it to our kids. So for years, I tell Maya when she does well, and Tara with her artwork, you should be proud of what you've created. And then after years, my kids go, Daddy, I am proud of what I've created. How many of you recognize this is a secret weapon? Now, in 2020, one of the things that got taken away is our oxytocin, is our connection. So it's really cute. We're online. When JJ first met me, I was single. Okay. I didn't have my beautiful wife. Was one of the first people on AOL, how to meet people dating online. I learned if you don't get them from the messenger to the phone, you're never going to meet them in person, which is the purpose of it, right? Not to talk on the phone. So what I realized is we've got to get good at getting them from one vehicle to the next. What people crave is oxytocin. So when I talk with people, I want you to understand how we do this. So I don't know if anyone's live, but JJ, how do most people start a meeting one-on-one or a phone call? And then I'm going to show you what I do. And I'm going to tell everybody, like, I'm going to give you like the gift right now of a lifetime. First off, you're hearing stuff you've never heard before, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So how do most people start a phone call?
Hello, how are you doing? Hello, blank, how are you doing?
How many times have we heard that before?
Our whole lives.
So our neural pathway that goes into salesmen, this isn't going to work. So I want to tell people this. I just want to tell you in advance that Essanté is not a business opportunity. That's not what we do here. Pause. Now they're like, what the hell is it, right? Because I'm going to take it away because their mind is already made up. We are a group of people that have gotten together that are committed to helping each other with their health and their financial goals. We are a community of people that are committed to mentoring others to do better financially and health-wise. If all you want is a business opportunity, there's a million of them out there. But if you want to be with a community of people that are growing, that effectively want to help each other and support each other, that's what we do here. What's fascinating is you've just said what other people don't say. Did you catch how I just did that?
Absolutely.
If it was a chiropractic office, I'd say, like, let me ask you a question. As a chiropractor, did anyone ask you ever how much service is?
Well, I never had to take care of that typically because I had somebody up
But
front.
people would say
Yeah,
that to the front desk, wouldn't they?
they would. And obviously we eventually had a fee disclosure, so they would see it and sign it beforehand. Yeah.
Well, let me show you how I would say that. So has anyone ever asked how much does it cost to get started in Essanté?
Yes.
So why don't you ask me I'll ask you the question. How much is it to get started, Dr. JJ?
We can get started for as little as $29.95.
Ask me how much does it cost to get started.
How much does it cost to get started in Essanté?
Wrong question. Better question. What would you like Essanté to do for you? See, most people don't know. So can I tell you what we do? The founder of the company, Michael, years ago, decided that he thought that the health of this world was not where it needed to be, and there weren't great opportunities out there. So he's dedicated the last 20 years to working directly with individuals and their families to change their financial state. So I want you to understand it's not about how much does it cost to get started. It's really we're an opportunity that's going to work directly with you and your family to develop the financial and health goals that you truly desire. So yes, it's about $1,000 a year for product and to get started, but the benefit is it's really here to change your financial and your health situation. So when I sell gym memberships to people, they ask how much is it? And I'm selling martial arts, and I want you to pay attention. That's everything we do here. And people say, Michael, how do you sell martial arts for $2,000 a month? The same way you sell Essanté for $2,000. And I want you to understand this. When people say, how much is it to get started at the gym? Most people are thinking it's $200. I say, wrong question. What would you like it to do? And I said, well, we're an organization, a family-based organization that works directly with your family to help raise your child. Obviously, your child's about 8 years old right now, and they have challenges they're going to go through. Eventually, there's the teen years and the bully years and the dating years, and we're going to be by your side through the entire part. So think of us as a member of your family to help raise the next leader in this world. So by the time colleges roll around and the scholarships are coming, your child is ready. It's $995 a month. And if all you want is martial arts, there's other places you can do that. But what we offer is something more and different. Well, most of us try to offer people a deal. And when you offer people a deal, they're always going to be making a deal. So we need to explain, Essanté, what it really is. It's a community. It's a group of loving human beings that work. We're a family-based company. We really are. Your whole family is involved. Michael's whole family is involved. We are a family-based company that works directly with the field to share everything we know to change your finances and your health goals as quickly as possible. And we work directly with you. We show you the science behind it. We teach you, we educate you. And if all you want is a business opportunity, check Google. How many of you understand that's how you pitch this? How many of you are getting this? Is this, you getting this, JJ? That's how I
Absolutely.
sell it. So what I say is we're a community. We're not a business opportunity. And more people want a community than a business opportunity, don't they?
That's true.
So this is one of the things that I covered, and I believe it helps people in a big way is covering. It's not just selling, it's understanding that people should be proud of themselves by even considering this versus being frustrated or bothered. And if we could start being honest with people, it'll become more comfortable. What other challenges are people dealing with? Or how do you want me to dive into this? And I have another 10 minutes if you require.
That's
I'd
great.
love to help.
I mean, I think everything you've covered already. I mean, I'm sure everybody who's listening to this live or on the replay has done what I've done. I've filled up 2 pages worth of information already. And so, I mean, this is great. And it seems like a lot of the advice you gave us is setting the tone before the conversation even really gets into the start of it. You know, if you set that tone right, then you've pre-sold the person. And it's not like
It
you're selling
has
the
to
person.
sound different. It
See,
has to sound different
yeah,
than what they were expecting. They're already ready to say yes or no. When you offer something different, this is why in Netflix or like in the 80s movies, there's always the sex scene and then the murder in the 80s horror films, because it has to be a change of pace. This is why the craziest thing happens at the end of an episode. One of the first shows to do this was The Sopranos, then Sons of Anarchy, and they realized this trend. We do something crazy at the end of the show, so you have to continue. So we cannot offer them what they've heard before they're expecting, because unfortunately, we live in an entertainment culture right now, which is based on attention. So if you want to get people's attention, we need to then offer what they're not expecting. And part of what they're not expecting is if it sounds like what they've done, they will do what they did last time, and they will get involved or not. And then they will stay as long as they did last time, give or take a bit. That goes right in my book, Average Sucks. They'll stay for last time they stayed 90 days, they'll stay 97 days or 81 days, and they'll be out again. We have to offer them something different and be able to back it up. See, what you and I had back in the day, JJ, was a community. We were no different than any church, temple, synagogue, mosque. We got together, we connected, we went to meetings. Whether you're doing it on Zoom, this is a community. Why would we shy away from the obvious? Everybody wants community. And if they don't want community, they should not be in business, because that's what this does.
that's
Period.
true.
And I'll take questions if anyone has. Folks, it's funny when people, I charge a lot of money for one-on-one coaching, and then people have a million questions, but free like this, if there's people on and they want to ask, I see a lot of faces, you could jump on camera or unmute yourself. I'd love to answer live any questions people have. And I guarantee I can impact your bottom line.
Yeah,
I
in
can
fact,
impact your
anybody who
business.
wants to ask a question, just put it in the chat there and we'll let you in.
Put it in
And
the
while
chat
we're
or
waiting-
just say hello, raise your hand. And I'm not going to bite anybody. Okay, we'll just have fun.
That's right. And while we're waiting for anybody to do that, how can somebody get a hold of you? You know, people that are watching this on the replay or
Yep.
live, how can they get a hold of you and take advantage of your services?
Well, this is what I put together for you guys. I'm a person that gets people to take action and get things done. That's what I've been doing for years. You've taken our call to action program. Obviously, you can go search the web, or I could, if you're coachable, I just give you direction. I got with my people. We reduced one of our programs. We cut the number in half. It's actually cheaper than back in the day I was marketing 20 years ago, if you want it now, which is weird, but whatever we got to do. Maybe people don't know me as much, so I want to offer that. So I've got a website. I'll put it in the box here. Calltoactionnow.com, and it's and if you go to calltoaction now.com, when you go there, Let's turn this thing off. When you go to calledactionnow.com, it's our call to action program. It's normally $600. It's $300 to work directly with me. 5 days, kick your butt, hold your hand in a group setting. And you're going to learn a lot of like intricacies, like how to get more done in 5 days, how to use trigger words to drive yourself and others to take action, how to get people's attention. You're going to learn all that on the program. It's not sales. It's how to drive yourself to do what you want. It's the biggest no-brainer in the world, and it's the price of 2 tanks of gas for anybody that drives a decent sized car. So I would definitely take advantage of that. It's calledtoactionnow.com. For you guys too, if you do it, on the next page, it's going to say, do you want an average suck shirt, which is wonderful. And if you wear one, I guarantee it's a prospecting tool, because the people that will stop you go, yeah, I believe in above average organics, and I believe above average nutraceutical products, and above average shakes, and above average essential oils. I got your products right here. And what's interesting, and lollipops and everything, and you can use it as marketing for you. That and a book. I will give you 2 books. And the reason why I want to do that is my book, Average Sucks. I wrote it for people with ADD. This will drive you to take action. Here's the greatest gift in the world. I taught JJ this back in the day. Number 1, you ask someone to do something, and if they do it, you reward them. I would give them a book, and you'd say, dear JJ, I'm so excited to be on this journey together. Amazing we're doing the next year. Future pace them. Love, Michael. And I say love because it's okay. Just be careful, the guy, girl, like just be careful with the love thing. But I recommend it because most people don't say it. I love that we're working together. Be appropriate. Here's the sneak. Right about page 27. I go in the binding right there, and here's what I do. JJ, only leaders make it this far. Congratulations. Call me. And then I closed the book, and I never told them I did it. If they call, you got a winner. If they don't call, you don't have a loser, but you got to teach them how to win. How many of you understand that trick alone is massive?
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
It's brilliant. I've been doing it for years. I've been teaching it to people. I have whole companies that do that. And you know what? Don't get mad. Don't go to page 45. Don't do that. What you do is you just test them and see if it works. So that's one of the big things. So again, my recommendation, smart people that are watching this, I bill out. I mean, I have clients that pay me $50,000 for a day of my time. And I get that whenever I choose to put it out there. There's $300 to work with me. Why do I do it? We got to build a relationship, and we've got to move forward and do something. So calltoactionnow.com. You can get my book afterwards, or get my book. But if you're going to debate between the two, my book can't do what I do live. So someone's got a question. How do I get people's attention during cold calling?
And before you answer that, Michael, let me just say that I've got your shirt. That has created a lot of conversations for me. My dentist, who it's your dentist too, wears the shirt as well, and the gear. And the person who's asking this question, how to get people's attention during cold calling, his name is Michael too, coincidentally. And I've personally worked with Michael Wu many times. I've traveled across the country to work with him. This guy is fearless. He'll speak to anybody. He connects with rock stars, musicians, Hollywood people, you name it. And he has his own shirts too that he wears about one of our products, Daily Digest Enzymes. So yeah, please help him answer that question.
Yeah, one of the benefits of not wearing, you want to wear your shirt, but also the benefit of not. What I learned this from rock stars back in the day, Slash would wear other people's shirts sometimes, and the reason why is it brings up a different conversation. You want to like, you can wear anybody, it doesn't have to be mine. It's something that speaks to your audience. That's why Average Sucks speaks to this community. Healthy one day at a time. It wouldn't matter what it said. It could be Gold's Gym if you want to go after health-minded people. So I'm just recommending have a wardrobe and stuff, so you're not always selling what you're doing, because you want to build intrigue in different people in different ways. So Michael, first off, I don't cold call, and I think it's a ridiculous concept. I live in Arizona. I don't know why anyone would cold call. Go outside. It's warm. I don't know what you're doing. Why don't you start calling people you've never met yet? I don't call it cold calling. I don't even call it prospecting. I call it connecting. I call it contacting people I've never spoken to yet. I don't want to put that thought in my head. And I don't sell. I influence people. So I'm just telling you, I don't sell. I influence, and I do not cold call. I contact people I've never spoken to yet, and I work to build relationships. So when you change the tone, things change. So when I call people, you got to sound different than what they've heard before. So when I pick up the phone, like, Michael, are you out there? Can you unmute?
Oh,
are you there, Michael?
There he is. There he is.
What's going on, Michael?
I'm doing good.
Okay, very good. So what's the first thing you say when you're calling somebody? A lead, a business? What's the first thing you say?
Okay, hello, how's it going? My name is
How many
Michael.
times they've heard that before?
A million times.
Watch this. I call you, say hello.
Hello.
Perfect timing. You're there. You already feel like you did something right. You got it? Perfect timing. You're home. I'm glad I caught you. Michael Bernoff, you got a couple seconds? You feel good because I told you perfect timing. You get it, Michael?
I get it.
Is it making sense? Well, I don't know if I could do that. Then don't. But if you did, it would work. What's interesting is most people have to realize we need to vary what it is we do. We need to change what's going on. I am so glad you picked up. Super smart of you. Who is this? The guy that just called you smart. I don't know what you have to do. I am just saying I would like it if someone called me and told me I was smart. And so would you, Michael. Are you getting this?
I'm getting this.
If I were you, I would spend time watching and learning and watch how I do what I do. I've turned this little speaking thing on stage to tens and 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 tens of millions of dollars. And the reason I'm telling you this is one of the things that I've learned is you got to do all kinds of new things. You've got to try. Sometimes you fail and you got to test new stuff. But I literally don't even believe in scripts. You start with a script, but the script is just to get the ball rolling. I test, I play, and I am telling you, I'm a guy that's made a million of these cold calls back in the day in my life. I used to call the same list 9,000 other people got that nobody was interested. And I had to get creative back in the day. So it's not that you need to get people's attention. You need to be interesting. And you got to ask yourself, what drug do you want to induce in that person? Nobody wants you to call them and get them excited. Nobody wants you to scare them. What you got to do is give them some serotonin so they feel like they're making the right thing. And I wouldn't say, hey, are you open to business opportunities? You could say, hey, listen, you seem like a smart person. There's a community of us that have gotten together, helping each other grow financially and helping each other grow our health goals. I got to ask you, are you totally set where you're at financially? Well, I could always use more. Well, is that something you want to fix, adjust, or are you ready to settle with? And we got to use tough language these days. We've got to say things like, have you already completed your financial plan? Like, are you done getting better financially? So someone's asking, silly question, Joan says, but being a woman in her 60s, is it going to be hard to build a business at my age? Thoughts? It will be very hard if you want it to be hard, Joan. Okay, that'll be up to you. And that'll be up to your belief system. That'll be up to your way of thinking. It can also be very, very easy because you've got one on me that I don't have, Joan. You're older than me. And people usually associate older with wiser. So I would say over the years, I've realized the benefit of needing to get ahead financially. I wish I would have found this at your age. So guess what? You've got the energy and the enthusiasm. And I have to push double as hard as you do. So this will be easier for someone like you. Now, when you call me, who's 15 years younger than you, you just told me it'll be easier for me and I'm more likely to get started with you, Joan. Turn it into an advantage. That's how you do it. It's like when someone asked Ronald Reagan back in the day if it's an issue of his age. He goes, I didn't want to bring it up that I'm wiser. It's an interesting thing. It's a great comeback he had. Not to get into politics. The guy was hilarious. And he basically said, I didn't want to bring up how young my opponent was. I'm sorry I have to bring that up now. Flip it, Joan. You're the genius. You're older. You're wiser. And you got to say, it is so exciting at my age. Now I'm going to give you the best line in the world, Joan. Are you ready? And Joan, I highly recommend you take my call to action program and calltoactionnow.com. Sign up. You will love it. Here's why. I want to get you over your fear and your doubt of that, because that's what I'm going to do. It's not sales stuff. It's about getting over that worry and concern. Here's the thing that I believe will be able to help you. You've got the ability to say, and this is going to be really, really helpful for you, Joan, is you've got the ability to turn and say these simple words. As I get older, people say that we need to leave a better world for our kids. My job is to leave better people for our world. Why I do what I do is I want to leave better leaders. If we don't build capitalists, if we don't build business owners, my children will have no one to play with. If we do not help the next generation get ahead financially and be business owners and be effective, we will not have business owners in this world. We do not need to leave a better world. We need to develop better people. Network marketing is about developing human beings, their effectiveness. If it wasn't for direct sales and network marketing, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I wouldn't have the beautiful life that I have. I got a great life. All the things we used to listen to those Randy Gage tapes back in the day, all the stuff he talked about, I have. I've got a great life, the cars and the wife and the real estate and the business and the money, and I have residual and investments. I'm telling you this because it was network marketing that gave me that. It gave me the confidence, the courage to be me. So I'm just going to challenge all of you. I'm the most average guy in the world outside of my height, never did well in school. C's his grades, could barely pay attention to save my life. I can't even sit still when JJ's adjusting me. Okay. He was holding me down. I can't sit still, but I found a way to make this work. So I'll take one more question or anything, JJ, you want me to cover? If not, I love this. And we got to do this again.
Well, this is just a truism, but obviously another thing that I've just heard from you, which is great. You owe a lot of your success to network marketing. So at the end of the day, you know, it's a truism that network marketing is a personal development course wrapped up in a compensation plan. And like you said, it made you who you are.
I look at this, JJ. I first saw this water at a network marketing event in 2022. It was $3 a bottle. And I even talked to you about this water back in the day. I wanted to get to a point where I could go to Whole Foods and buy it. I remember even telling you this. It is delivered 6 cases a month to my office, still at $30 a case. I buy $180 in water now. Why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because it was a dream. It was an idea. And it was so simple. I just wanted to be able to walk into Whole Foods and not worry about my credit card not going through. Now I just have it delivered and sent to my house. Embarrassing how much food they send the 6'7" vegetarian. But the point is, why am I telling you this? I'm looking at this now, and I remember telling you this at my house. I would love when you were at when I first met Deborah, you were over, and we were talking about water at that point. And I said I would just love to one day be able to buy this and not worry about the price. That was an initial goal. Now it's just an everyday activity, and I want that for people. It's very sad that people want things and their life is not the life they want. And that's my mission, is to change that for people. Have what you want, be what you do, period. And our vehicle is sales until you realize the real sales pitch is to sell yourself. Because once you become influential, I could go post online right now and I'd say, go buy Essanté. People would buy Essanté because I'm influential. I have an identity as an influential person, but I also chose that I was going to do that. And I built that. And I encourage you to build that as well. How do we do it? It's going to take a minute. You've got to be a person that offers value, not a sales pitch.
Well, that being said, and I know you're so busy and I so appreciate your time.
Yep.
I'm kind of put you on the spot right now because you can get any product you want in and out of the network marketing industry. From your heart, what do you feel about, how do you feel about Essanté Organics products?
I love your products. I use many of them on a regular basis. The oils I use, I have a steam shower, so I smell it every day, which is great. I love the oils, which is great. Do you use those?
Absolutely. In fact, you know,
the breathing one is one of my favorites.
Yeah, breathies. You know the movie Wanted with Angelina Jolie, and she's an assassin, right? Well, there's this movie in that movie. There's a scene where, you know, they're assassins, so they would get, unfortunately, these terrible injuries. But then the next scene, you would see them in this bath, this white waxy thing, and it was kind of far fetched. It's in the future. It would heal themselves of gunshots and all types of internal injuries, but the way I love to use our oils is many ways, but the way I actually love it is put it right in our bubble bath, and I concentrate on my breath and just really let that get in from the outside in and the inside out. It's just great. Organic essential oils.
This one, I play hockey. I love this product. Number 2, the lollipops. I have been on auto ship of 3 bags a month. The whole office uses them. We've been on those auto ship for 15 years. Deborah loves them. She calls them lollies.
I remember when your 22-year-old daughter was young and used to resell them.
Yep. We have done that. We still will do that from time to time. When Maya comes in, she'll sell them to the people at the office. You've got a great company. I would say the challenge is how much your company cares about the product being great, that they're not willing to overhype it. Does change the quick fix that people might get, but it builds a long-term opportunity with real residual income. We've all seen companies come and go. The desire to not hype, to put BS in the product. I was talking to the formulator the other day because there is an absolute no to putting things that don't work in it. And one of the biggest companies in the world, I have a good friend. He was looking to take a product. He's talking to Michael about this, and he was looking to take the product that he had at the company he was with and build something like it. He took it to a formulator and found out, this is one of the largest companies in the world, found out that what is in it is not what's in it, because you can't do what it's in it for the way they say what's in it. So I'm sorry, you're with truth, love, length, and longevity. These are the things that I live for. That's why I'm doing this call today. And when I know that I won't have to call poison control if I drink too much, don't drink it. But you know what I'm saying? Is special to me. And I know that my kids can use the product. So I will tell you, it may take a little bit more, because you can't say, drink this and you'll lose weight, get six pack and a great sex life. You can't say that, but you can say how to use it and how it works. One other thing Michael taught me was how to take the product and stop using those little sheets in my laundry. So we buy those little sheep, like the little balls thing, and I put your product in my laundry as well. It's wonderful for the dryer sheets as well. So I'm not a distributor. I don't get any dollars for saying this. I don't want anyone put underneath me. I promote what I love, and I love you and your family. I love this company. I love what Michael stands for, his family, and anything you guys ever need, let me know.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time here. You're a gem. And for anybody that has watched this live or is on the replay, I've taken all of Michael and Deborah's courses. They are amazing couple with an amazing family. They've got so much to share. And I know everybody who's watched this either live or on the replay got some information, because even though I've taken all the courses, I got 2 pages worth of new information from Michael, and he always has great stuff to share with you. So connect with him as soon as you can. Thank you so much, Michael. I appreciate you.
Appreciate it, JJ. I'm excited to work with you all. And like I said, get the book Average Sucks, but step up and get calltoactionnow.com with the number 2, calltoactionnow.com. And I'm excited to work with you. And JJ, I'll let you know who works with us. And I guarantee their numbers are going to be very different in the next 90 days. Guaranteed.
Love it.
Take care, everyone. Love you guys. Take care. Go be great.
Bye-bye.